Hold up.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Loren LoRosa is here as well. And we got a special guest in the building, Pete Davidson.
My guy.
Good morning.
Welcome,
Hey,
son.
guys.
How you feeling?
Fantastic. How are you guys?
Good.
You get one woman pregnant and you start growing out your mustache?
Yeah. I love the stash, man.
You guys like it?
I do.
I'm wildly insecure about it. I had to film this thing and I had to grow a beard and it took me like 5 or 6 months and then we wrapped and I was like, this took so long.
Yeah.
I can't just shave it off.
You look just like your father.
Do I look like my dad?
I mean, like,
Stop.
No?
I like
just
it though.
like
I look like an 80s dad. No, I like it.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Right.
Everything's good. Finally. Yeah. I'm just sober and, just a guy now.
Amazing.
Yeah. In my 30s, I got to stretch when I wake up.
There you go.
Yeah. Stuff hurts. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you, you got the Ineos.
You got one too, I heard.
My boy Mark, we went to high school together.
Oh, you went to high school?
Yeah,
Mark?
the Ineos Granite.
What is the Ineos?
Freehold, yeah.
It's this crazy off-roading, like, what is that, French car or whatever?
Yeah, so a billionaire the story is a billionaire who loved the Defender from Land Rover, wanted to buy one, and they said they didn't make it anymore. So he said, I'll buy the company.
That's some rich shit.
And they said,
right there.
no, we're not going to sell it to you. So he said, I'll make my own. He made his own. Land Rover sued him. He won, and now he makes his own vehicles.
Wow.
He won.
Yeah, he won. So it's based off of his own styles. He likes to go camping. So the car is just really cool. Like, I go through, you could go through damn near anything.
That's
Floods,
I saw
whatever.
the video of you in Jersey.
You see me in the flood, right?
It was
looks like a Bronco.
It was like
No.
4 feet of water,
Looks like
and you
nothing,
could just
Damn.
Go right through it.
no problems.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
So I love the vehicles. It's
Okay.
pretty dope. And
And now you got one.
yeah, they said you got one.
I had to.
That's
Well,
what's up.
Mark told me to say hello.
What's
I was
up,
like,
Mark?
I was like, I know him before you.
Before you.
Yeah.
You in a new movie now? What's the name of the movie?
The pickup.
The Pickup. Yes.
Yes.
With Eddie Murphy and Keke Palmer.
Yep.
How was working with Eddie?
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan. Eddie Murphy's like the reason I got into comedy, and I got sent the script, and I didn't read it because I just saw Eddie Murphy's doing this, and then I saw Keke Palmer's doing this, and Tim Story's a great director, and I just had a blast, man. He's such a star. There's very few stars
Yeah.
left, but when he's on set, even if you can't see him, you're like, Eddie Murphy.
And he was a star. 80s celebrity was totally different than anything
Totally different.
that we got now.
No, they were real movie stars. You didn't know what they did all day, and he's you could just see what Mark Wahlberg's doing right now.
Right.
Now, that's not a dig at Mark Wahlberg, but like I know his whole morning routine. I know what. I know his family better than I know mine, and I think that ruins stuff. Like you don't know anything about Eddie Murphy really. Tom Cruise, you don't really know anything about. I mean, he has an Instagram, but like you don't. There's that sort of aura that makes you want to be like, oh, I'm gonna go see this movie. Like Christian Bale or whatever. He doesn't have an Instagram, so when he has something out, you're just like, oh, I gotta go see this.
When did you realize that? Because I remember when you got rid of all your social media.
I got rid of it because mentally
Mental health
it was
reasons.
destroying me. Because how they'll be like, well, for me it actually wasn't like this, but there'll be like 100 nice comments and 2 bad ones. I would only see the 2 bad ones, and I also just don't like anyone could just reach out to you. You're very accessible. Someone could DM you or reach out to you, or if you're hanging out, they're like, hey, follow me. And I just didn't like all that stuff. So it's been tough, like with just career-wise. It's like a tough thing to be 31 and not have an Instagram, but I think it's just better for me. But some people, I think it may make sense, like if you're literally anybody else.
Yeah.
But you've always lived your life out loud because shit went from 0 to 100 for you like that. I mean, one moment you're on Wild 'N Out, one moment you're on Guy Code. Next thing you know, you're on SNL, and then it's just like, pew, took off.
Yeah, it got a little out of control fast, and I was really young, and now I feel like I'm still pretty young, But
You are.
I am right. But like
Regardless of what the mustache says.
thank you.
He has a mustache pose. You know, every time you see the mustache, he has that 80s.
Yeah, I got that. Good morning.
But you're still young.
Yeah, but you know, I met you when I was like 16, 17, and I'm almost 16 years into do. So half my life I've been doing this. So you know, I'm glad all the bad, crazy stuff happened in my 20s.
For sure.
Because it's just, I don't know. I'm glad I got it out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough when you're young and doing that. I'm jealous of people who blow up and they're like 35 because they have a full life. They have their family, they have their friends, and they know who they are as people. And when you don't know who you are yet, and you're just in the news all the time for literally bullshit, it's embarrassing. It's like it sucks. You know, but I'm grateful that it was, you know, not that it's excusable, but I was really young, so I'm just like.
You didn't do dumb shit though. It's not like you were just like one of these, you know, child stars who did dumb shit.
Yeah, I was just doing drugs and like trying to do comedy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's,
Right.
you know, it's not that like.
It's regular shit.
Yeah, you know, I'm not like, you know, I didn't kill anyone or anything, but you know, it's still. You don't want that out. You know, you want to be able to grow. You know, that's what we don't really have anymore is like any form of privacy. I feel like for young people where like you get to make those mistakes and learn your lessons and it not be in page 6. You know, that's what was embarrassing. So then I had to, you know, you just have to reframe your whole life, which is really tough, but it's better now.
We seen you struggle a little bit. How did you deal with it to get through it? Like, was it therapy? Was it deleting all the social media? Was it friends? Was it family? Was it stepping away?
I was a big drug addict. Like I would go to rehab and stuff, and I do have mental stuff. And I was in therapy, but if you're a drug addict, like none of that works. Like you can't go to therapy on a bunch of drugs and expect it to work. So I think
Therapy high might be fun though.
Yeah, well, you think you're like, I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better for sure. But you know, really what it was is I had to stop. I'm not a person who could do things in moderation, unfortunately, and I think I was kind of trying to fool myself and be like, you can do this, and then it just got to a point where like people I really cared about were like, I will not fuck with you anymore, and some of them don't still. Most of them I would say came back, but it just was. There were people that I was like, oh, okay, if you're saying this to me, then like I should. It's real.
Yeah.
And I also had a lot of. I've said this before, but I've been guilty of like having like 70 people in the green room, and I only know like 10 of them.
I remember that era.
But they're all my best friends now, and you gotta be. I didn't realize how careful you have to be and how careful you have to move when there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of money at stake. There's jobs at stake, and you can't have people you don't know everything about you because this sounds. I don't want to sound a certain type of way, but like sometimes you're the most exciting part of someone else's life. Right.
Yeah.
So like whatever you might be just like talking because it's your personal life, but that person's like, oh, I just got like a little trinket that I can bring to all my friends, and then they tell their friends, and then before you know it, it's all over the news, and you're like, how does So I just had to learn. I just learned slowly.
But he's always been so self-aware. Like one of the reasons I even started going to therapy back in the day was because of Pete, because he was so young, but he would just acknowledge, I got to go into rehab, or I need to be sitting down talking to somebody. And I'm like, well, if he can acknowledge his bullshit and go out there and get some help for it, my old ass definitely need to be doing the same thing.
Well, I feel like you've always been super ahead and on the right side of things and not afraid to be like, you're a very masculine guy, but also just like, hey, it's cool to like talk about stuff. And I think you've done a lot for a lot of people because, your status and who you are as a person, like it's important for a guy like you to be able to say that stuff to make other dudes be like, oh, it is cool. Charlamagne does that, So I think you were always ahead of the game on that stuff.
I appreciate you, brother.
No, yeah.
What got you to the point where you were so transparent about like the different things you were struggling with and battling with? Because eventually you were talking about, I'm checking myself in here and I'm doing this.
Well, when I was on SNL, it was kind of like, one, I didn't want anyone to ever have anything on me. I always used the 8 Mile approach. where I saw 8 Mile when I was like 8 or 9, and I was like, oh, he told everybody all the bad stuff about him, and then no one could say anything.
Use anything against him.
Right. So I always kind of took that approach, and also when you're on a show like SNL where you have to be, it's live, it's week to week, it's very public. I just didn't want anyone to know anything about me or have anything on me, but also like my job at that show wasn't the traditional thing. Like I wasn't a impression guy or even very much a sketch guy. My whole thing was like I would go on Weekend Update and do stand-up. And then after like my first or second year, I burned through all my stand-up material. And I was like, because it's week to week, so I would just be like, oh, what's going on in my life this week? And then it just kind of became somewhat therapeutic, but also, again, just like when someone knows what you're going through or they are aware of maybe some issues you have or stuff you're dealing with, then they're not like, why is he acting like that? You know what I mean? So they're not like, well, they're like, oh, I know why he's acting like that. He's sad or he's, you know. So I just wanted to be super transparent. And also, everyone at SNL was 10, 15 years older than me. And I had a tough time. They weren't mean or anything. It's just hard to, you know.
Relate.
Yeah, I would be like, hey, you guys want to go smoke weed? And they're like, we're having our first child. And I'm getting married next week and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, you guys don't want to play video games? It's weird. So it was also a way of me trying to like let them know what's going on with me, because it was tough to, you know, it's tough to make friends.
Did that increase the connection?
I think so. I think it became sort of I think when I first got there, like, this kid's just like loud. This is like a loud kid wearing his whole life on his sleeve too. That's my little brother. And then I felt that way. Keenan was always big bro from day one, but I think everybody, you gotta remember, SNL.
And he smokes weed.
Yes, he does. That was a way to become friends very quickly. But it's also, you gotta remember, SNL it's competitive. It's not just like it's not like a team sport. It's who could be the best this week and have their stuff on the show.
Oh wow.
So there is this aspect of we all respect and love each other, but at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to eat you alive. Like, I want to be better than you. So it's a very competitive environment. So
you were one of the youngest cast members on SNL in the show's history.
The youngest.
The youngest.
I think I'm third. But the list is crazy. It's Robert Downey Jr. I think Eddie's first, then it's Robert Downey Jr., and I think Anthony Michael Hall was on it for like a year. But yeah, we're all 19 and 20.
I feel like when you were on SNL, it made, like, at least for me, I paid more attention to the show. Like, I would watch it because I had to, or like certain things were happening. But when you were on there, it felt like it was like someone I knew because you were close to my age.
Oh, thank you.
Did you ever feel pressure? Yeah, like, did you ever feel pressure because, like, to a certain generation of people, you did make it more relatable, like the things that you were bringing to the show, the topics they were able to touch because you were there?
Oh, I appreciate that. First of all, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I was so young, I was super unaware of everything, thankfully. Like, now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's what I was doing. But I was so young when I got SNL. This sounds terrible, but like, I didn't know it was still on.
Damn.
And I never watched it. I was 19, 20 years old. So when I auditioned, they were like, what's your favorite stuff? And I like just YouTube stuff in the bathroom. And I was like, I like the Californians or whatever. But I had no idea what I was talking about. So luckily, I walked in. I didn't realize the magnitude of that show. I was just like, oh, this is another job. I'll probably do this 2-3 years and then get fired. And then it actually hit me when I did the 50th. The 50th anniversary show. I saw everybody in that room and I was like, oh shit, SNL's cool. Like, this is like a institution. This is like like the Harvard of comedy. It's like a comedy college. And but I was so lucky. I was so young. I was super naive. So I just was like, I'm just gonna smoke weed and talk about what's going on in my life. But thank you for saying that. That's cool.
Yeah, because that's the best shit of, like, that was like the best part of the shit that I saw, because I never thought SNL was funny. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I just never thought it was funny. I would see my parents would watch, but I never watched it like that. But when I did, I was like, okay, this dry humor is cool, but it's not really funny. you got on there, and yeah, like she said, you made it relatable for us, especially like then when you came from Wildin' Out. We were very happy to see that you made it on there, and you're like, yo, this nigga funny. Well, I'm sorry.
Thank you. No,
This
thank
guy's
you.
funny is doo-doo.
Well, he's miscellaneous
You know?
in the face, so I can understand why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, with the
Yeah.
I think with the mustache and my white guy hair now, I have evolved into a white guy. But for a while though, it was up for debate. For sure. For sure.
Yep.
19 to 24, anybody's ball game.
Remember when we went to go buy them fake chains?
Oh, of course. Gold plated.
Canal Street, right? I went on Canal Street.
Nah, you
No,
went
went to
with that guy.
47th.
Yeah,
We-
Greg Una.
Yeah, they were heavy. I remember I made like, I think I had maybe $10,000 to my name, and I was like, I want to go buy a $10,000 chain. And Charlamagne was like, why don't you just get an $800 chain that looks exactly like it? All the rappers wear it. No one has any idea. And it was this big gold-plated Cuban chain.
I was like, nobody's gonna question you.
Yeah.
You're Pete
Damn.
Davidson.
Well, the problem is
So then I bought one.
the next day on the radio, he tells everybody.
Yeah.
No, I
Me and-
did it.
yes,
Guys,
he
I got a
told-
fake chain.
I'm saying I got one.
Yeah, he
and
said,
then I
yeah,
told the
I
story
went-
about Pete later.
It's like, yeah, I went and got a fake chain. I'm like, well, that makes no sense.
That's
But
crazy.
boy, that chain it looked fire though.
It looked, yeah, it was great.
gold-plated.
Yeah.
How long did it last for?
I still got it.
I had
Charlamagne
it.
still wears it.
I had it for 4 or 5 years, and then I gifted it to a friend.
Does he think it's real?
No, I told him, but I did the whole. I was like, no one's gonna know. I did exactly. Hey, it was exactly what you told me. I passed on. I got to be you for a second. It was nice.
Yeah.
Who's gonna question you? They know you got it, so it's like
It's funny. That's what I'm realizing now with all like the lab. I'm not like into diamonds that
lab
much,
diamonds,
but
yeah.
like it's like who gives a shit? They look exactly the same,
Exactly.
and they're made in a there is that hole. It's made in a
Well, they
nicer
made the same
fashion.
way diamonds are made, but it's just man-made opposed to.
Right.
And I like the one you wearing today.
Oh,
That's
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's really dope.
I want to ask one more question about SNL because it's just about you as an actor. When you, to me, you're like the last like really big star that came from SNL in more recent years.
Thank you.
right?
100%.
But at the time when you were like all in the tabloids for who you were dating and everything else, was there any like I don't want to say hate, but did anybody feel any animosity from the
cast?
Yeah.
I think they were just like, because you got to remember, like everyone there did, Second City, improv, like worked so hard, so hard. Not saying I didn't work hard, but I was only doing comedy like 3-4 years, and a lot of what people liked about me was like, oh, this is like a kid from Staten Island that's just talking shit. So you got to remember, all of these people are 10, 15 years older than me, working so hard. SNL don't pay great until you're like 5-6 years in. And at the time, you weren't allowed to do stuff outside the show that was a payday, because it was like the Yankees. They were like, no beards. They were like, no, you got to dress up to go to the after party, all this shit. So I think I did rub people the wrong way, and I think it was just annoying for the cast. I think the show as a whole loved it because they were like, people are talking about SNL. Not that they weren't. I don't want someone on YouTube to be like, motherfucker think he's the I brought a lot of pop culture into the show. Like I made it sort of like a tabloidy, like trendy thing unintentionally. And also I was embarrassed by it, like, because now it's starting to change a little bit, but no one talked about any work I was doing. They were just like, oh, that's the, fuck stick.
Yeah.
And like that hurt so much. So like, and they saw, I think after like a year or two, everyone saw how sad I was about it and embarrassed. Because like I was never on Instagram, like, flexing that sort of lifestyle at all. I was very like embarrassed by it. So I think after a while they understood. But at first, yeah, they were like, this kid's just like loud and this is nothing to do with SNL. This is, but no one was like out. I just want to be clear. No one was ever outrightly mean or, by any means. But it was sort of like a, just like, hey.
What were you embarrassed by though? You was banging a lot of hot chicks and
Yeah, I
people knew
mean-
you had a 10-inch penis. Like what?
On paper, that sounds great.
Right.
But it's embarrassing because, first of all, it's Hollywood. Everybody fucks everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody's dating everybody. Why are they focusing on me? It's because I'm not Glenn Powell handsome. I'm just this like dude that tells dick jokes that is a drug addict. So it was like it was like
what is it?
It was like what? Yeah, and it had nothing to do with comedy, and like also like that stuff affects relationships. Like seeing that and like trying to move around and go on dates and like just be like a young dude who's trying to figure out who he is, and like not to be like I don't want to victimize myself in any way because I'm cool, but like the sexualization of me, like if that was a girl, like people would be like, there'll be a march for it.
Yeah.
Like you just seriously,
He's right.
you just talking about my dick all day and people.
If you talk about a girl's ass or girl's titties or girl's vagina, it would.
Yeah, but it's like people do that on the internet to like, let's say Sydney Sweeney or whatever, but it's people there's no like radio hosts or like news people being like, this guy with the dick, or like they don't talk about girls like that professionally. Like it was professional. It was like pointed out on the street. Like it was embarrassing.
When did that start? Like who started that rumor?
It was, I think it was like the New York Times or something when I started dating someone that I guess they considered out of my league, which I think everyone is out of my league, but they were like, this guy must have big dick energy. And then, and then someone confirmed it. And then it was just like,
Confirmed it. I don't remember.
They'll figure it out.
I remember somebody calling my phone one day screaming at me about it, though.
Oh, yeah.
What? Pete was gay.
He was pretty upset about that.
No, it was a guy.
It was a guy.
They say it wasn't me.
I told the story already.
Okay,
We gotta go Google.
It was
Go
not
Google.
me. It was not me, ladies and gentlemen. It was not me.
No, you did look at me in them sweatpants, though, one time. I remember that. You remember
No,
that?
it was. Yes, it was you.
No, not the one who was called you screaming.
Yes, it
but
was him.
I remember one time I wore sweatpants, and I was like, did anybody just look? And then I was like, maybe he did it. And then I went home and watched the interview, and he's like, do you see Pete Davidson's sweatpants? I was like, what the fuck?
No, but you did like a Calvin Klein ad or something like that.
No, it was before that. Pete was up here one day. I forgot what you was up here. You was doing something. No, and we were sitting in the office, and I introduced you to Pete.
Yes.
You and somebody else. They was like, you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, is it really 10 inches? I was like,
Damn.
what the fuck?
It's also, I don't think it
This
is.
is embarrassing.
You said it.
I don't like how you treating Pete right now. It's not about his genitals.
You was
But,
having
all right,
that
but look, this is
conversation.
the thing. Why was Pete bricked up in the meeting?
I mean, sometimes
wasn't.
if you
I
got
think
you
it was
got
just
it.
a-
You got it.
No,
That's what they be saying.
I think it's
You
just a
got it.
warm day.
Oh my God! Wait.
It was just a good sweatpants day.
But
You
you did
know?
reply that he was checking me out too, so it made me feel good.
Okay.
Even if he was lying, he said he was checking me out too, so it made me feel good.
But
Sometimes it looks good, you know?
Damn.
I
you
wouldn't know,
do a,
Pete. I can't relate.
Didn't you do an ad? Which ad was it where you kind of played into the BD?
Stop
kickstand.
sexualizing him.
No, I
Guys,
just wanna-
I'm uncomfortable. No, I just did a Reformation sort of thing. Was it that one, the recent one?
No, this was a while back. I believe it was Calvin Klein or something like that. It was like the
When
first
was
time
in
you
your
kind of
underwear, the
played
big
into
billboard,
it.
after you got your tattoo
You
removed.
didn't-
right,
you
yeah,
didn't
that was
say it, but,
Reformation.
like you played into it a bit.
Yeah,
and
well,
that made it worse.
I got
a bit.
it once I got sober and I looked out from like, what my friend says, I looked at it from the cheap seats. I was just like, I have not capitalized on people talking about my dick for over a decade. I was like, I should make some money over this, So I've been sent a lot of stuff over the years, like big dick sandwich, big dick this.
What?
Yeah, exactly. And I've been like, nah, like
Arby's?
that.
Where's the meat?
No, I won't. They might come up with a bag soon, so you might see a big dick sandwich soon. So I don't want to shit on them. But I've over the years gotten a lot of offers like that, and then Reformation came with, I thought, a really brilliant ad because they're a girls' clothing line, and they were like, "We want you to be the face of a girls' clothing." I was like, "That's cool." And then I got most of my tattoos removed, and the whole thing was kind of like, at the time, a year ago or a year and change, there were articles that were like, Pete's a crackhead that like lives with his mom. And I was like, I'm a crackhead, but like I don't live with my mom. Like that hurt. And it was like Pete's career's over. I got in trouble I canceled Bupkis and I got in trouble for it. Cause I love that show. I love doing Bupkis. I had a blast. Thank you for being in it. It just got to a point where I got really tired of my whole career just being like my personal life. And living through that it's sort of traumatic. Like, not to be like lame, but like it's traumatic to live in your own crap all the time. And it got to a point where like we would write stuff that I was comfortable with, and then I think the head of whoever was running my show, who greenlit it, was gone, and then this new person came in and was like, I think Pete should be banging Martha Stewart this season. I think Pete should have more mental issues. And I was like, oh, but like I wouldn't do that. And they were like, well, Pete the character. And I was like, I can't do this. You know, and I was like, if I want any shot at being in real movies or being seen a certain way, I was like, I can't just play myself all the time and be this like sack, you know. So
they're basically trying to exaggerate your trauma, basically.
Yeah, which I get. Like, I would too. If I was a studio head, I'd be like, let's, you know, that's what works with Pete. So I had to, you know, step back and kind of take a little bit of a, like, be in purgatory for a little bit. And then Reformation came out, was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, oh, okay, I could show everyone that I'm sober and that I put a little weight on and that, like, I'm an adult. And I felt like they helped. It's corny, but I feel like they helped me start to, like, switch the narrative a little bit. So I love doing that.
How did NBC react when you just told them I don't want to do this no more?
They were not pleased. Have you seen me in any NBC, any Universal? No, they were, you know, they were upset. I cost people jobs. And like, you know, I took care of the writer's room and, you know, anyone who didn't, you know, get paid that needed to, I took care of it, which also hurt. But, you know, it's funny. It's like you work for a company for over a decade. I'm pretty sure I brought in a lot of money. You know, worked hard on that show. Was a good boy. You know, like promoting and whatnot. And then like it made me realize a lot about the business. Where I was like, hey, I'm gonna probably die if I have to keep doing this, and like that's a problem. And it just made me realize, like, before I got back into doing stuff, because I was chilling for like a year or whatever before I started working, I was like, this can't be my whole life anymore. This is just a job. You have to have something outside. Like, this is just something that we get to do, which is very lucky, and I'm very lucky. But it did kind of open my eyes where it's just like, oh, like, no one actually cares about you. Like, studios, networks, they don't really care about you. They want you to do the thing, which I get. But like, I just wasn't in a place. Now it's all good. Like, but there was like a time where it wasn't, and like that was tough.
Protecting your peace was more important.
Yeah, but also what I realized is like, if you're good enough, like, they'll always come back. Like, if you're worth doing something, like, you might be off a little bit, but if you could produce, or if you could do, like, you'll be back. But while you're not there, it hurts and you're very confused. But yeah. But I just wanted
to. You didn't get blacklisted?
No. Okay. I think I
Just
was
from NBC. I mean,
no. I think we're cool. I talked to everyone over there now, and we're cool. There was a little time where there was some heat, and it wasn't all good. But I think like now there was a time where it wasn't, and I understand why. But it just hurt because it was a place I worked for over a decade. So I was just like, I'm having trouble, and like they're like, you know, well, get it together, kind of sort of thing.
They loved you. You thought that was family.
Yeah, you just there's these lessons that I had to learn. But everybody there's been nice, and we've been cool, and everything's been on the right foot now. But yeah, there was a time where I was like, oh, it might be a wrap, you know. But then I realized there's other studios,
Word. Absolutely.
and they like me. So like, you know, like that's why it's all good.
Now, you said you removed all your tattoos. What made you want to do that, and what was that process like?
My tattoos sucked. They were all drug-fueled. You know, I got all my tattoos in a span of like 2 years. And I was just looking at myself in the mirror once in rehab. For the first time when I was sober, and I was just like, oh no. Like, what did I do? I think tattoos are cool. I realize most people's tattoos are meaningful. and mine just weren't. So I started burning them off. Burning them off sucks. Have any of you got a tattoo?
Now, what's burning them off? What is?
So you go to this doctor. They have this big laser, and they numb you up a little bit, and they burn. I don't know if this is the technical.
Right. Laser.
Essentially, they burn off a sheet of your skin, and then it got to heal for like 6 to 8 weeks, and then once that, and the healing thing is you have an open, gash on your arm. And then you got to put all this stuff on it, keep it out of the sun. And then after 6 to 8 weeks, you got to do it like 10 more times.
Damn.
So it takes years, you know. And if you work, you know, can't be on set with like an open. So like you got to schedule it in between. So I'll be removing them till I'm like 40. But it sucks. If anybody is actually thinking about getting a tattoo, I would recommend thinking about it for a couple of years. Because your feelings change, you know. When I was 23, I was like Wu-Tang forever. You know? And luckily, no, I'm still there. I kept my Wu-Tang tattoo, but you know, there's certain things that, like, you know, like a dire wolf from Game of Thrones. Like,
why would you want that?
What? Yeah. But when I was season 7, I was like, I gotta get this.
Hillary Clinton too.
Hillary's staying. I love Hillary. I got Hillary after she lost because I know her personally, and she's a lovely lady, but also just like. She's tough, man. That's like she like really was at the forefront of some bullshit, and as someone who has been at the forefront of some bullshit, I was just like, just wanted to, you know, cheer her up a little bit.
What did she say about that tattoo?
She loves it. When I was getting, what was cute was when I got them removed, she hit me up and was like, "You're not removing me, are you?" I was like, of course not. Of course. Hillary stays.
Did you have to audition for the pickup?
No,
How did that come about? How did that role come?
I got so I hosted SNL like 2 years ago, and it was actually a pretty crazy story. It was like the day after the initial Israel Palestine Hamas stuff was happening. And it was the season premiere. So they were like, you know, we're going to have to address this as a show. And I was like, of course. You know, I've been there before when stuff happens. SNL's always been really good about getting ahead of it and just kind of, in a way, being like, let's be funny. And we can still be funny, but we have to obviously acknowledge what's going on. So, like, in typical Loren fashion, you know, he tells me we're going to have to address it as a show. And then like an hour before the show, he's like, it has to be you. And I was like, oh, all right. And then the whole cold open was just me. He was like, you have to talk to the audience about what's going on. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that. And Loren was like, well, you were born in tragedy, so you could do it. But he said it kind of like, that was like some Bane shit. Like, you were born in the tragedy.
You weren't born in tragedy. Tragedy happened.
It happened, right? Yeah. But he was like, you could do this, and so I was like thinking about what happened to me when 9/11 happened, and I just told this story about how my mom took me to FYE. Remember FYE for your entertainment? And I bought a Eddie Murphy Delirious DVD, and I didn't know what it was. I just loved Eddie Murphy growing up, and I put it on in the car, and my mom just heard, "Fuck this, suck my dick, fuck you, don't look at my ass." All of this. She was like, "What the hell are you watching?" I was like, "Donkey from Shrek." It's this new movie that he did. Because Shrek just came out, and she was like, "You can't watch this," but I was laughing so hard at the ice cream man bit and him doing the barbecue bit, and she saw how much I was laughing, and we weren't laughing a lot, at the time. So she was like, "You can watch this, just like don't tell anybody." And it was our little secret. I used to watch Eddie Murphy stand up in my house, and then and I was like, "I'll just tell that story." So I told that story. He saw it, and they were about to start shooting that, and then he set the offer.
Wow.
When you was on set and you were shooting with him on the pickup, when did you realize, like, oh shit, this is Eddie Murphy? Like, was there a moment?
There was never a moment where it was not like, oh my goodness, but we weirdly have a lot of shit in common. I'm by no means Eddie Murphy level in any way, shape, or form. I don't think anyone is. But We're both the youngest cast members ever. Both started stand-up when we were like 15, 16. I think maybe he was even 14. Both lost our dads at like 7 or 8. So we immediately just bonded. And it was like, you know that Spider-Man meme?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, and we just got along real well. But there is sometimes where, in certain takes, where you're like, oh shit, that's Eddie Murphy. But we just had a good time, man. He's the best.
Do you ever try to out funny him because he is such a legend? Like, I have to impress him even much more, or is it just?
So I've done that in the past, where I'm like, I'm just gonna try. When you first meet a famous person when you first get in the business, and you're just like, and you take a selfie with them, and then you realize like, oh, like they will never like me, because then you become famous, and someone does that to you, and you're like, oh, all right,
that was corny.
It's corny, right? So I luckily at SNL had so many of those moments because there's a new famous person every week, and then like halfway through, I started getting noticed a little bit, and I was like, oh, this sucks. They're just regular people, and they want to be spoken to normally. So I would just do that approach, and there's nothing a comic hates more than someone trying to be funny. So luckily it just was very natural. There was sometimes Eddie would dunk, then I'd throw it up, and sometimes he would throw it up, and it was just fun, man. It was just, we were in this little car, we were just in this truck for like 3 months, and we were just screaming at each other. It was almost like fan fiction. Like if I could work with Eddie Murphy in a movie, not only am I working with him, but it's just me and him for 3 months in a car. I was like, it was really fun. It was super cool.
I saw he helped you get your entourage together. You said watching him and how he moved changed how you move.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Yeah, he has, he's the biggest star ever, not just in comedy. And he was super young, so he's been famous for 50 years.
Yeah.
So like when he showed up to set, it was just 2 people or just 3 people. And as I got to know these guys,
he's also 60 plus now, though.
Yeah,
it's
for
compared to
sure.
when he was 31.
But I asked him, and he's like, I was like, why do you move like this or whatever? And he was just like, at a certain point, I just was like, he's like, I had everybody around too. And then, there's something weird about where like you'll try and help your friends or do stuff with them all, and they like get mad at you.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, how did this get like so weird? Like, I think it's just, we obviously change a little bit, but like I think the people around you really sometimes change when this is a hard thing to navigate, and I don't even blame them. Like it just happens with some people, and when you're going from doing 20, 30 people at a comedy club, and then the next day it's 2,500 out of nowhere, like that fucking does something to your brain, and it does something to the people around you. And I was just talking to Eddie, and he's like, yeah, just get like a couple people you could trust that like you're, I don't know. I always thought you had to have like 40 friends, but like if you have like 3 or 4 really good ones that you could tell everything to, like you're very lucky. Yeah. And then I just looked around me and I saw who was my favorite and who I could trust and tell everything to. Because I went through my phone. I was like, can I tell this person everything? And I was like, no. I was like, delete.
That's a good way to do it.
Absolutely.
Like, can I tell them everything and not be like, is he gonna tell other people, or will I read this in the Daily Mail? And I'm like, I don't know. Bye. So now,
have you ever had that happen? Have you tested people like you?
Fed
some bullshit just to see.
Yeah, and still once in a while I'll make up a lie and I'll tell each one of them a different thing. And ever since I cut everybody out, it hasn't happened. But I tell everybody a different lie and see if it'll come out.
Did it?
No, since I cut everybody out, no. But
you did before.
Oh yeah.
So now, what if one of them comes to you like, "You're a shitty liar, and I know that you lied to me. So now I don't want to fuck with you because you're a liar."
Something like that. What if his friend is that white?
I think they would understand. I think that's what I love about the people I have around. Like they just love me, and they're here for me, good or bad. These were also people who, when no one was talking to me, and I was told my my shit was over, they were like, "Hey, you want to just like go get food, go hang out?" And it fucked me up so much. I didn't know how to. I was like, I'm out right now. Like I don't have anything to offer. And they were like, "Yeah, so we're friends. We're friends forever." Yeah. So
That's dope.
those were people who showed up for me.
Real question.
Yeah,
Are you happy now?
I am really happy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing you got to work on all the time because once you're happy, like it's like that's when the real work starts.
Yeah.
Because you got to maintain it and do a lot of maintenance. But like I'm in a really good place finally, where I'm not like lying. I feel like I've always been pretty honest about how I feel, but like I'm not like putting on a
Front.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm okay, So
Love that.
and I'll take it. I'll take mid. I just want to be mid all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is
like,
good.
That mid is good.
Yeah.
Mid is very good. So I'm
Unless
just
you smoking it, then it's trash. But
yeah, but when you
Good.
isn't weed? This is why I quit weed. It's too strong.
Nowadays.
now it is.
Depends. Yeah, but depends what you're
Now,
smoking.
There's a
yeah.
comedian that the hell's his name? I think it's Dusty Slay. I was watching a special, very funny guy, but he was like, he did this joke where he's like, I've done milder acid than some weed I've smoked today, and I agree.
Damn.
Weed used to just be smoke weed, and then like music would be insane, and like movies or whatever would be more fun to watch, maybe a little funnier. Now you smoke weed, and you're like having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
There's no reason for edible to be 65 milligrams.
Yeah, well,
Bro, it was 100.
Yeah, that's
The
that's
one,
crack.
the one I just gave it just had
It's like,
100.
if you break it up in small
I ain't got
pieces,
time for
you're
that.
Nah, I ain't got
good.
time for
You
that.
got
That's-
life
Because you take them and then you be like, what is happening to me? My life is
it's
over.
bananas to me. And when I was in rehab the last time, most of the young people in there were all in there for weed.
Really?
Because there's this study that's going to come out that they showed me. So weed used to be like 2 to 4% THC.
Yeah.
Right? So you get a little high. Sometimes it'd be a little good. It'd be like 6. The average weed you get at a weed store, 19%.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and that's the lowest. Everyone's putting butter on it and all this goo
Yeah.
and all this crazy shit. And
I never knew that THC was only 2 to 4%.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
it
not
was
what you
super.
smoke.
That's why
No, it's not. I'm killing myself.
I had
What the
like
fuck?
psychosis. Because I was a daily, all day sort of guy, and I got psychosis where you like hear voices and like you feel like you're sitting next to yourself. And weed's not supposed to do that.
No.
And it's because it's too strong. So if you're out there.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I rolled a nice ass blunt and watched Bodies, Shorty. That is my shit.
Oh, thank you. That's a fun one.
It's a fun one.
It's a very underrated film.
Hilarious.
I think it's a silly goose film.
I like it though.
Do you feel your go ahead, Lauren.
I was going to say, you talking about being happy. I know you got your baby on the way.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations, Daddy
Man.
Mustachey.
Thank
Daddy
you.
mustache.
I couldn't be more excited. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw you say that this is going to be the best role you've ever played.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I've ever felt since when I was young. And my dad passed. I remember, my mom used to be like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I used to be like, "A dad." I always wanted to be a dad because I felt so crappy, and I wanted to like make sure that a kid didn't feel that way or have to go through like what I went through. And then when my girl told me she was pregnant, I felt exactly how I felt when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And it was so nice. Because when you're little and you're like, I want to be an astronaut or like, I want to be whatever. Like a lot of that stuff fizzled out, but I felt the exact excitement that I felt when I was little. And I couldn't be more stoked. It's going to be fun.
Your decision to share the news and all the things, just because of how much it sounds like you went through with just like your own battles with media and all that. Why share the news?
Well, they knew for a while, and they were being cool because, they found out, I think someone saw us going into a doctor's office or something like real early on. And then it was super stressful because one, I would ideally like no one to know anything.
Yeah.
And I would just like to be a normal human and be able to enjoy that process with my lady. And it became super stressful because one, as you know, when you have a baby, you don't know if you're actually having one for a while until you make it to a certain point.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's healthy. And so they found out way before that. And luckily, the outlets that found out were super cool. And for the first time ever in my life, and I felt very lucky, they were just like, we'll give you 2-3 months. And then
That's still shitty though.
Yeah, that's just
Fuck
that
you.
felt, right?
well,
Some of them would just post the shit. And
no,
like,
some of them would be like,
Give me
"Fuck
2-3
you."
months. Fuck you.
That's how fucked up the world is. Where I'm like, they're being really nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what a nice outlet. I felt worse. I feel bad for my girl because all of this, like, I bring a lot of shit. Like, anything we do or she does now is gonna be a thing. And I feel really bad because, one, I don't like it either. I consider myself a private person that's just stuck in that cycle. She's a very private person, and this is her. She's the one going through she's the one doing all the work, you know? And it's supposed to be a beautiful experience. And like, she's never made me feel this way or said anything, but like, I feel so guilty and horrible that like in any way, shape or form, I could not allow her to have the ideal pregnancy that almost every woman gets to have and enjoy. So luckily she loves me and knows what comes with me. And we've talked about it before we, fully were in a relationship. But like, I really feel shitty for her in that aspect that like, she didn't want to post that. Like, first of all, anyone that does that shit, you see that and you're like, this is corny.
Yeah, for sure.
And you see the ultrasound, and then but we were not given a choice, and they held it off as long as we could. And luckily, my girl's really funny, and she posted a good, funny caption. And
I think those people going to hell. I really do, because I think that's so shitty. If your girl is pregnant, you and her should be able to tell your friends and your family on your terms.
We couldn't tell
your
anyone.
Time, and what you said earlier is true too. What if it's a difficult pregnancy?
Yeah.
And she may not want to expose it because anything can happen.
One in three don't.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't go through,
Like,
and
that's not honorable of them. Like,
also, fuckheads, you're putting tremendous stress on my girl,
That's right, woman,
who needs to carry that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that does a lot to a person. And we couldn't tell anybody. Just my mom and like a couple people, and then like I couldn't tell like my uncles. Because, they might be at the water cooler and be like, oh, and then, like.
It's like that in every family.
Yeah, they might ruin everything, or, so, my grandpa, who I love to death, he goes to like diners and be like, I'll have a BLT. Do you know who my grandson is? Yeah. And then, so it took away a lot of normal experiences that we would like to have, but we are very happy and very excited.
Congratulations.
I love that. And the fact that
soon.
you are aware of that, yo. You got some dads who just are just not, or some boyfriends, husbands who are just not aware of what the woman goes through. And it's not their fault all the time because they're not women, they don't get it, but you get it. Like, so she's a lucky girl. You're a lucky guy.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that's very admirable of you.
Thank you. It's no joke. Like, it's no joke what ladies have to go through with the pregnancy. I do not envy them at all. They are magical heroes.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
It's crazy sitting here with you and hearing you talk about like the other side of it, like in reporting the news, and then hearing you talk about like what it felt like and how it impacted you. Is so like I'm sitting here like, it's different. And it's also like, man, like, because you're living your life every day and it's news to people, but like you're really living this life every day.
You don't realize people are humans?
I mean, you do, but I think it's so different.
She used to work at TMZ.
Yeah, and
They
we
don't
covered
have souls. They don't have
literally,
hearts.
we covered every minute of your life. Like, I could go down the timeline of stories, and hearing you talk about how it affected you in private, and sometimes you would talk about it. Yeah. It's just I'm sitting here like, damn, that's kind of messed up.
Well, it's also like it's also like looking at like what the Biebs is going through. It's like, leave that fucking kid alone.
I know. I get so pissed every time.
Leave the fucking kid alone.
Yeah.
He had a kid. He's married. He's trying to fucking like all you should care about that he does is music or like if he fucking kills somebody or something, report it. But like leave the kid alone. And it sucks. Like there becomes a point where you're like, well, I guess that's their job, and then you're like, yeah, but it's hard to live like that. Mm-hmm. It's hard to, because then like, for example, we'll be like, should we go out to eat? And it's like, well, there's going to be a lot of people there. And then, you know, someone has a phone and then sends it to like whatever. And like, you just want to be on a date. And it's like, man, I don't want to think like that.
Right? I can see all sides because there's people that be like, I don't feel sorry for him. He's rich. He's young. He's banging a bunch of hot chicks. He's got a big dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But then on the flip side, it's like.
On paper.
Yes. Yes.
But then on the flip side, think about all the things you have to give up as just a human.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you got to move a certain way. Like, yeah, like I do well, but like then you got to get security. You got to go to the airport a certain way. You got to travel a certain way. You got to get a PR guy. You got to this and that. It's like, it's a lot, dude. It's exhausting, you know? But again, I'm very lucky.
Well,
And you're happy.
I am happy.
And
though.
I can tell
In a
you're
better
happy. I can
place.
look at you and tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
the pickup is out right now. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's currently #2 in U.S. on Prime Video. And thank you for joining us, Pete.
Hey, thanks for having me. I wore sweatpants for you, so.
And with this, if people look back on your career in 20 years, what do you hope they say about who you were as an artist and person?
I hope it's like, I don't want to compare, and I'm not this guy, and I will not have the same career this guy had, but I hope it's like Downey-like, where they're like, you don't remember. I didn't even know, because he's just Iron Man to me, and more than that, but he's just a fantastic actor to me. But like, there was a time where his career was over, he was broke, in jail, and there were articles like he's doing crack in jail and all this crazy shit, and he turned his whole life around. So I hope people will be like, oh wow, he turned it around. Because there's two ways all this shit could go, and I remember when I was very close to like not being here because of drug-wise, I was like, it would be so Pete Davidson of you to overdose and die. That's such an expected headline. That's so corny. Like, that's exactly what everyone thinks. I was like, wouldn't it be really cool if you like grew a mustache and turned it around and became a man? Like, wouldn't it be cool if like for one time in your life people were like, oh, Pete's okay. He's a dude. He's just a dude. And I hope all this shit just, you know, but also it takes repetition. Like, it's not like you just do 10 years of that and then you do one press tour. It's like, oh, Pete's, you know, it's I have to do 10 plus years and keep this going now. But I hope people look back and they're like, oh, wow, he turned it around.
But you do a lot of work. It's the work that they don't see. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know the work that you have put in to be to be the version of yourself now.
Thank you. It is tough. But yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. And it's necessary. Like, you gotta grow, you know? When you're doing drugs in your 30s, it's just not cute. Like, there's no excuses, really. And at a certain point, you all have to grow, always evolve. You're always evolving.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're always doing personal work, and you just want to be the best person you could be. So I hope people will see that.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson.
That's right.
Thanks,
My
guys.
New movie to pick up out right now, and we appreciate you for joining us.
Thanks for having
Pete
me.
Davidson. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?